Used to be during the Super Bowl, the best you could hope for at a halftime performance was perhaps live vocals because, the powers that be at the Super Bowl don't want bands performing live because of the logistics and the possibility of something going wrong. Well, that changed in the 2000s with some epic, mostly live rock sets. I'll give you my ratings on those halftime performances coming up next on Music Meanderings. Welcome to Music Meanderings. I'm Mike Lamneck. And before we get on the epic rock performances between 2001 and 2010 at the Super Bowl halftime show, going to throw in a little bonus now. This one going back to Super Bowl 31, 1997. Now, most of these shows, I'm sure that I probably watched them, but I don't remember a lot of these. Blues Brothers. You remember the Blues Brothers performing at the Super Bowl? They did in 1997, and they brought with them James Brown, also an all-star band, and ZZ Top. Now, it was disappointing watching this, and again, all these are available on YouTube. You can watch the whole performance. ZZ Top, obviously miming the couple songs that they play. And the rest of the act, it doesn't look like they are singing live. In fact, James Brown and the Blues Brothers many times are away from the microphone, yet you still hear them. So that's kind of a dead giveaway. So I'll give it an extra point just based on the fake news bulletin that starts it. That's pretty cool. And an overall engaging performance. I give this a rating of 6. As I said, all these shows, by the way, are available to you on YouTube, and the complete performances all clock in under 15 minutes, most of them just 12, 13 minutes long. Okay, Super Bowl 35, 2001. Now, this is a weird combination to start with. Aerosmith with NSYNC, and also Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly hopping in there as well. Now, I found the lead-in comedy bit with Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler as they portray halftime entertainment coaches. I thought that was more entertaining, actually, than the performance itself. The combination of NSYNC and Aerosmith just doesn't really work out. And Britney Spears and others joining them, and really the only old rock track they do from the Aerosmith catalog, and that's Walk This Way, pretty much ruins, I think, the classic song. So I give this a rating of 6 also. Moving on to Super Bowl 36, 2002. U2, pretty excited about this one, and they gave a great live performance. They really did. The band works their way to the victims of 9/11 as a scroll with all of the names is displayed behind the band during Where the Streets Have No Name. So the Super Bowl performance is getting better, and I rate this one at an 8. So after Super Bowl 36, the Super Bowl decided to go back to pop music for a couple of years until the infamous Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction incident.
Infamous is when you're more than famous.
Now, at that point, they decided to play it safe and book some legacy rock acts that were less likely to embarrass them. The first one was a big one. Paul McCartney, Super Bowl 39, 2005, reeling off a set of Beatles and Wings hits, including Drive My Car, Get Back, Live and Let Die, Hey Jude. A Super Bowl crowd, of course, joining him on the Na Na Na's course. This one appeared to be a mix of live performance and tracks, but pulled off very well, and I give this one an 8 also. Well, the list of great live rock acts continued in 2006 for Super Bowl 40 as the Rolling Stones took center stage playing sloppy and live. Now, this one was obviously live. It's the Rolling Stones, after all. They wouldn't agree to playing along with the track, so good for them. They performed on the largest stage assembled up to that point for a Super Bowl halftime show. They were able to get it set up in 5 minutes, which is incredible. A replica of their iconic tongue logo. They ripped through a set, including Start Me Up, Rough Justice, which was a new song at the time from 2005's A Bigger Bang. And some bands do that. They will put in a new song to kind of expose that to new fans since they've got an audience of millions watching. And they wrapped it up with the classic Satisfaction, a song that Jagger introduces by saying, here's a song we could have played at Super Bowl I. True enough. Live rock and roll with all its warts and pimples. The Rolling Stones, good stuff. I give this performance a 9. On a side note, before we move on, have you ever wondered how much money the performers make? They must make millions, right? No, they don't. They don't actually get paid anything other than a musician's union wage by the NFL. Now, the NFL pays all the production costs, pays for their travel and all that stuff. But as far as the performances, they make what comes out to be about $1,000 a day for rehearsals and performances. They do it for the exposure. And that policy reportedly remains in effect currently. Moving on now to Super Bowl 41 in 2007. You know, Prince has always mixed his funk with some rock, and he used a Super Bowl to showcase his guitar talents. Now, I wonder if that was originally what he was going to do, or he just did it because of the weather, because it was raining the whole time. And he couldn't pull off those dance steps and dance moves and choreography that would normally be part of a Prince performance. So the mix was not the best and heavily favored his distorted electric guitar, which pretty much buried everything else. He played an eclectic set that was bookended by hits Let's Go Crazy 1999 and a crowd sing-along version of Purple Rain in the Rain. If you remember anything about this performance, that's probably what you remember. It was pretty amazing. Now, I rewatched all these shows here on YouTube. This one was not quite as strong as I remembered it being, so I'm going to give it a 9. And the 2000s continued with more great Super Bowl halftime shows. Super Bowl 42, 2008, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers play live. It sounds great. The set, American Girl, I Won't Back Down, Free Fallin', and Running Down a Dream. All crowd pleasers. They didn't push any new material. I don't even know if they had any new material out at the time, but they agreed to go with 4 huge hits. Great intro with a neon arrow moving up the field to Pierce the Neon Heart stage. No special guests needed for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I give this a 10. Now this next one could be my favorite. Again, after rewatching all these, I didn't realize just how strong this set was. Super Bowl 43, 2009. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, polished and cooking, packing all the energy of their 3-hour set into just 4 songs. The openers, 10th Avenue Freeze Out and Born to Run, demonstrate just how tight a live unit it is. And then he politely pushes the title cut from his current album at the time, 2009's Working on a Dream. He plays a shortened version of that before closing out the set with a rockin' version of Glory Days. In fact, an NFL official even walks on stage toward the end to throw a flag for the band going overtime. Definitely 10 out of 10 for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, Super Bowl 43 and 2009. And one more on the list, 2010 Super Bowl 44. I remember being excited about this one, and it lived up to all the hype. The Who gave the people what they wanted during their live performance of Who classics, accompanied by an excellent laser light show and an impressive lighted stage that covered a large portion of the field. For that reason, the crowd wasn't allowed on the field for this performance. Ringo's son, Zach Starkey, was on drums. He joined Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, The Who, Super Bowl 44, 2010, and I give that one a 10. Well, there you go. What is your favorite Super Bowl halftime performance? Go ahead and comment below, and thanks for watching Music Meanderings.